The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution is one of the Reconstruction Amendments and was ratified on July 9th, 1868. It is a landmark amendment that addresses citizenship, rights, and equal protections under the law, among other important principles. This also has further the door to open the door for migrants and immigrants to come in and seek asylum. This amendment right here is what give you guys that right, right? To bring some context here. Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the law. Section 2. Representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed. But when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for president and vice presidents of the United States, representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of the state, or the members of the legislation thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants of such state, being 21 years of age and citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged, except for participation in rebellion or other crime, the basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of such male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years of age in such state. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Section 4. The validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. But neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss or emancipation of any slave. But all such debts, obligations, and claims shall be held illegally and void. Section 5. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. Context and interpretations. The 14th Amendment contains several key provisions, right? See, this amendment here, the 14th Amendment, was specifically made for those who were freed out of slavery, right? Citizen clause. Citizenship clause. This clause establishes that anyone born or naturalized in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction is a citizen of both the United States and the state in which they reside. It overruled the Supreme Court's decision in the Dred Scott versus Sanford case, which denied citizenship to African Americans. This has not been overturned yet. This has never been overturned. But let me continue. Privileges or Immunities Clause. Section 1. This clause prohibits states from making or enforcing laws that abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. While the Supreme Court initially interpreted this clause narrowly, it has gained broader significance in subsequent cases. Due Process Clause. This clause prohibits states from depriving any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. It guarantees fair and lawful treatment to all individuals within the jurisdiction of the United States. You know, Equal Protection Clause. This clause mandates that states provide equal protection under the law to all individuals within their jurisdiction. It is a foundational principle for civil rights and has been central to many Supreme Court decisions addressing issues of discrimination. Apportionment Clause. This clause outlines how representatives in Congress are apportioned based on the population of each state. It also addresses the consequences for states that deny the right to vote to certain male citizens. Disqualification Clause. This clause establishes that individuals who have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States may be disqualified from holding public office unless Congress removes such disability by two-thirds vote. Public Debt Clause. This clause declares the validity of the public debt of the United States, while also prohibiting the assumption of debts incurred in support of insurrection or rebellion. It also declares that claims for the loss or emancipation of slaves are void, right? Even though they still gave them reparations. They gave slaveholders reparations. That's wow. That ending sentence was wow. Enforcement Clause. This clause grants Congress the authority to enforce the provisions of the 14th Amendment through appropriate legislation. To bring historical context, the 14th Amendment was a critical component of the Reconstruction era following the Civil War. It aimed to address the legal status and civil rights of formerly enslaved individuals and to protect those rights from infringement by state governments. It was a response to the challenges of Reconstruction, including efforts by some Southern states to restrict the rights and freedoms of newly freed African Americans. Legal and social impact. The Fourth Amendment has had a profound and lasting impact on American law and society. It has been invoked in numerous landmark Supreme Court cases dealing with civil rights, including Brown versus Board of Education, 1954, which ended racial segregation in public schools, and Obergefell versus Hodges, 2015, which legalized same-sex marriage. The amendment has also played a central role in the development of constitutional jurisprudence, particularly in areas related to equal protection, due process, and the rights of citizens. It has been instrumental in advancing civil rights and expanding legal protections to marginalized groups. Modern significance. The 14th Amendment remains a fundamental part of American constitutional law and continues to be invoked in contemporary legal and social justice discussions. It serves as a powerful tool for addressing issues of equality, discrimination, and civil rights in the United States. In conclusion, the 14th Amendment is a foundational amendment that addresses citizenship, equal protection, due process, and other civil rights issues. It represents a pivotal moment in American history and continues to shape legal and social developments in the